And we're live. Okay, so let me wait to see if there's anyone here. I'm gonna send this out. Okay. Sharing. Oh my goodness, I hate this. This thing runs incredibly slow.
Oh no. It'll be all right.
Yes.
I love you.
Okay. All right. Oh, I got a notification that I'm live. That's interesting.
Yay!
All right, let me see. Where is my notification?
Oh,
I hate Twitter and how it looks when I'm on my actual computer. No, that's the wrong one. All right, let me see. Put this in my direct link for. All right, and then put this in my bridge drill.
Okay.
And there we go. Okay, so welcome everybody to Fandom Zone Talks, the the talking portion of my channel, where I just talk about things with some YouTubers that are around the YouTube neighborhood that have been guests on my show, or they're just getting started, or they got an intriguing channel that I think you should check out. So welcome everybody, and today I have a special guest. I have JeezBee. Hopefully I'm finally saying your name right, because you
are. Great job.
Thank you. I feel awesome that I can get the phonetics right. Yes. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the fine folks watching, or those who will tune in later.
Okay. Hi, I'm JeezBee. I have a gaming channel and a review channel. Yeah, they're both JeezBee.
Gaming and review. So is it under one umbrella, or do you have like two separate channels?
It's two separate channels.
Oh, awesome. So which one do you like doing more, gaming or reviews?
Gaming, because it's less editing, and I'm not a fan of editing.
Oh God, no! Do I understand that? When I do my movie reviews, even just doing the intro and outro is a pain, and the lettering and the wording, and thumbnails used to be a thing, but now much easier. So
yes, thumbnails. Oh God, thumbnails.
Yeah, depending on your program, thumbnails can be the bane of my existence. I absolutely didn't like doing them until I got a good program and I started messing around. I'm like, oh, this can be kind of fun when it's when you're not putzing around with the different things that you got to figure out, like my late night talks. I've just figured out about erasing things and backgrounds and putting stickers so that I could put several little things in it. So ooh, I can mess around with my stuff. It's pretty fun.
It's always good. I use Canva for my thumbnails. Yeah.
Oh, Canva, yes. I've used that once or twice before for some of my stuff. I got like a thumbnail maker thing that I use, and I edit them on my phone. So
nice. I should probably do that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little program, so I like doing that. And so to kick things off, you said you do gaming and that you enjoy gaming. So what aspect of gaming do you do? Because we have someone in the Fandom Zone, Cybernetic Husky, and he does video games, and he does like some live playthroughs and things like that. And I was checking out your videos, and I noticed that you do some live playthroughs yourself.
Yeah, I do a lot of Let's Plays. My Limbo games was mostly for entertainment, I'm pretty sure. I try to do walkthroughs of the whole video game like I am with the Order 1886 right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you did some stuff on Limbo, and was that like a favorite, or was it just something fun to do?
I really wanted to get through it. It turned into more entertainment than actual walkthrough because I didn't realize I was going to die that much.
I heard that I heard that game is very like taxing. It goes from having fun to you're cursing and
Yeah,
stuff.
it was infuriating at times.
I think that's funny though when you're playing games. If you could get that like sense when you're like capture that like throwing stuff or getting upset, that's hilarious because there's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah, I don't like doing it, but I enjoyed it while it lasted anyway. It was such a short game, but I made it so long because I died so much.
And just to address the people I could see, we have Perp in the chat. Welcome, Perp. And we have 19K Fox. Welcome, 19K. Thank
Hi,
you
Perp.
for.
Hi, 19K.
Yes, 19K Fox comes into some of my stuff, and I did a stream with him, so it's awesome to see you here. Perp Minded and me do watch anime, so.
Nice.
And Phantom Talks. Yeah, Perp is awesome. So good to have you guys. So yeah, so what with the order game order 1966 is it?
The Order 1886.
The Order 1886. What is that game about?
I go into most of my games blind, so I don't know yet. It's about an order. I know that, and I'm not too deep into it. But it's got lichens in it, which was a surprise to me because I didn't know that. And Brian the Digger actually told me that it's the game that introduced like the PlayStation 4, which I didn't know. But I'm a pretty blind gamer. I don't go into all the details. I like to play games.
That is cool. I think that it's awesome when you are actually learning about the game with the people who are watching, because like you're surprised to like a particular scene or something like that would be authentic, and you'd be like, oh, I didn't know that this was gonna happen. So I mean, that's pretty cool to have that realism when you're playing. It's like the people are playing along with you. They can be surprised.
Yes. We can all have a good time. It's great.
So that is awesome. And so like, you know, I see a lot of people who do gaming stuff, and gaming channels in general are a big thing. I mean, I have a couple of games that I would do here on this channel, but I don't have enough patience or know the programs to like use when you're like playing a game and make it show up on the screen. And I don't think I would have very good tips for anyone, so I don't do it. But what are your favorite genres of games that you like to do?
I like adventure games the most and action games. I try to do the Sims, like simulation games and stuff like that, which is great, but it takes a lot of your time. And I like to adventure in my gaming. And
yeah. The Sims is fun. I've played that, but it's just like the talking always throws me off because they're like,
yeah.
Plus, I suck in real life at you know, economy. So I was playing, and I'm like, it's like, oh, you got to get a job and all this. I go, this is too true to life.
Yeah, it is. But I cheat on my Sims game, so my Sims can live a very comfortable life. So I cheat when it comes to their simoleons.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. It's not fair. Why would I make them struggle? I mean, it's not fun to struggle. Why would I do that to the Sims?
So then you look at your Sims character and you're like, oh, if only this translated to real life and there was a cheat code.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Or a money tree? Oh, be amazing.
I'm still waiting for my money tree to sprout the green. Hopefully, you know, that happens, but you know, still waiting on that.
Me too.
They say like when I started down the path of owning a business, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be making millions, and then I was like, no, it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it takes a lot.
So let me just address the chat really quick. Welcome, Senate, the person who loves to jump in my streams and berate me. I love you, Senate.
I
know. He's such a great guy, and the memes that he makes are just priceless.
Yes, they're great. I like them.
And welcome, Jamie Vick. Great to have you. Welcome, Max Mama Bear. Good to have you here in the chat. We are talking with the lovely JeezBee about her and her channel, and she's telling us about the world of gaming, which I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome, Terrence. Good to have you in the chat as well. So we got some people watching, so thank you all for tuning into the day side of things. My normal hours of streaming.
Thank you.
So, oh no, not a problem. I like doing dayside because like I can do this at a reasonable time and then like watch Amazon so I can start doing reviews again and sleep. That's always nice.
Sleep is great. I love sleep.
It's kind of funny. I was telling my kids earlier today. One of my kids was like, "Yeah, I hate going to bed," and I go, "You're gonna love it one day. You're gonna
You're gonna absolutely adore sleep because you're not gonna get it anymore."
You're gonna be like, "I miss those days where I could just take a nap and no one said anything."
Yeah, everyone just left you alone. That was great. I can't do that anymore.
So, Senate brought up a good one. How do you feel about Star Wars Battlefront, the 2005 version?
Star Wars. I've never played a Star Wars game in my life because I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's like sacrilege on the channel. We got multiple followers. No, I understand. You know, that's the interesting thing about the gaming world and the gaming community. Star Wars divided people with movies. Gaming community, you guys seem pretty tight knit. There's a lot of good bonding in there. I hear very few wars on.
Yeah.
That, so it's like, you know, you never have someone who goes, "What? You didn't like Spider-Man, you son of a."
Yeah, no, we pretty much we're really nice to each other, which is nice. You know, nobody fights with each other. Like, you don't like this game, that's fine. Whatever.
That is good. Yes, Senate, I know there is a mutual hatred for the EA community. EA used to be good. I don't know what happened to the EA and their thing with the charging everything. Oh, they're horrendous.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of EA. I'm not a fan.
That's good. I used to be back in the Madden days. And then it got complicated, and I was like, "There's too many buttons, man. I can't juke and spin and all that. That's too much stuff to do. I just want to throw the football, maybe tackle some people on defense, you know."
Then they made it all complicated. Like, you have to have a certain amount of skill. Really?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, there's just like it's just like too much. What happened to the good old like 2-button days? I mean,
yes.
I can. Did you play a lot of like SNES and NES games and you know things like that, like the Nintendo days?
Oh
Sega
yeah,
and all that.
Yeah, I played a lot of Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and the original
PlayStation. So, what system do you have?
I have an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4.
Oh, so you're one of those people who's got both systems, because I've had this argument about the hate that Xbox seems to get, and I don't mind Xbox One, so I'm glad to see someone who has both.
I do have both. My daughter and my husband really like the Xbox One, and you can only play Forza on the Xbox, and I can only play Fable games on an Xbox. So I have them both for what I want to play, because not everything is on the PlayStation 4 that I like to play. A lot of it's just an Xbox exclusive game. So it's the same vice versa.
Oh, Senate, you're one of those PC master race. Yep.
Yes.
I know. I think the PC landscape. It's kind of funny because you hear the console wars, which some people will joke, oh, it's not much of a war. And I'm like, yes, but PC has always been winning.
Yes, it has. PC's always won.
Whatever ports you have, 90% of the games that are for both the Xbox and the PlayStation do port over to PC. As long as you got a good graphics card and you got a good processor, you can pretty much run anything.
Yes. Yes. I do play on my PC too. Okay. I just like my consoles a lot.
Oh yeah. So I mean, did you with the PC? Oh, someone is that a Power Ranger that just jumped in here?
She's wearing a Spider-Girl costume.
Oh. I was like, oh, we have a special guest superhero. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm a villain, but
That's all right though. You gotta appreciate the villains, or the heroes wouldn't have anything to do.
Thank you. I'm it's very underrated what Zod has to do during the day. Okay, world domination is not as easy as most people would think.
Yeah. So. Sorry, I was reading the comment section and what the Senate had to say.
I love having the Senate in the chat. He's always lively. Terrence, I appreciate you dropping support, buddy. And don't worry, I'm saving our 10-hour epic stream for a full day. Buddy,
yes.
Me and Terrence, we could talk about stuff forever. He's a great guy. So good to have you pop by, Terrence, and show me some love.
Thank you, Terrence.
So yeah, so you do the PC side of things as well. Well, here's a tough question for you. What's your favorite
PlayStation 4? Game? Oh no! I thought you were talking about gaming stuff. Sorry, my favorite PC game.
Wow, you had a quick answer. That was.
I did. I thought you were talking about what I like to play on. I don't have a favorite PC game. No.
Oh, because back in my day, I would have said Doom. The original, like
the infamous Doom. That is one of my best friend's favorite games. And he is a part of the PC master race. He doesn't play on consoles at all.
Oh, PC purists, those guys. They're pretty hardcore.
Yes, they are.
So it says Team Fortress, and Matt's Mama Bear says my daughter has the same costume.
Aw, I got it on Amazon. She bought it off Amazon.
Speaking of shameless promoting, Amazon Prime people, I am currently in the middle of watching some Amazon Prime stuff. I had my boys review up, and I'm going to be doing a review on Carnival Row soon. Yes. So yeah, I know. I started the first episode. It's very interesting, very intriguing. I'm a fan of Orlando Bloom, so very underrated. So, speaking of which, you did you do reviews. So I talk a lot about media in particular on my channel, and it's kind of a broad question. But across the media landscape, let's say, let me approach it this way. Which streaming service right now do you watch the most, and do you like the most out of like Netflix, Amazon, all the ones that we have? Hulu.
I don't have Hulu, so I don't watch that. I actually watch Prime and Netflix pretty evenly.
Oh, okay. So in the streaming wars, whose corner are you throwing into? Prime or Netflix?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough question. I can't choose because I really like them both. I can't. Like, I really like the originals, especially that Netflix has, and I really like the originals that Prime has.
That's a fair choice. Fair choice. For me, I went more towards Amazon Prime because Netflix, some of the stuff was like falling off for me as far as Netflix content. Some of my shows that they had on there, they made some changes I didn't like. I'm especially scared with the changes they're doing with, in particular, with the Netflix programming. There was a lot of articles I covered on Stranger Things that they want to take out the smoking and all that stuff.
Oh God, I know.
Yeah, I hate when they start going down that route we all talk about all the time.
It was the 80s. Everybody smoked everything, so they need to just leave it alone.
I know. I mean, I was in that era. Not I wasn't a grown folk yet, but I know enough of the '80s to know that I do remember when they started with the smoking bans more wide. I was in that time period, so I mean, when you have a show that's based in a certain time period and you're keeping it relevant to the time, changing it just for the sake of changing it bugs me, or just because people get a little offended.
Everyone's offended of everything.
Oh yeah,
Everything.
we're in the cancel culture now. And what up, Snow Dog? See him throwing some love to the bigots. Good to see you, Mr. Dub. So, anyways, so you're even with that. All right. So then, let me modify my question. What is your favorite show right now on Netflix, and your favorite show on Amazon?
Well, on Amazon, it's probably The Boys. I really like that show, but Jack Ryan comes in close second. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, great choices.
And on Netflix, I really like the show The Rain and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I really like that show too.
See, I liked Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That was a big runner for me, but then the second season came and I did not like some of the directions the storylines went. It got very hard for me to watch. And I try to put my politics out of stuff when I watched it, but sometimes when it's blatantly in there, I just can't get through it. Like, oh my God, the second season took me so long. It's only like 13 episodes, and they split them up, and I had such a hard time getting through it because I'm like, what does this have to do with the show? Stop focusing on this stuff. You're just trying to annoy me.
Yeah, fair enough. I still like it.
No, which is fair. I see the aspects, and in my first season review, I put that down. I see the aspects of Sabrina has a very good, compelling story when they're talking about the witch stuff. But when they get into the school stuff, that's kind of like where the show starts to kind of, I don't know, slow down for me or get very political when they're talking about the way that the students are and stuff like this. And I gotta watch it, and I'm like, come on now. I went to high school.
Yeah.
Really, the principal would not do this in real life.
No, yeah, true, but it doesn't make for good entertainment. So,
yeah. And The Boys, I absolutely love. So,
such a great show. So messed up, but such a great show.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There were some scenes where I was like, oh, they went there.
They really went there. They didn't go as far as they could have, but they did.
So, yeah, and you know what, Jack Ryan, that show needs to get out there. That show is so good. And what's his name, John Krasinski?
Yes.
He is amazing. When I saw the casting, and I love him in his movie roles and everything else. When I saw the casting for that, and I was like, I said, I think he could do it, but I don't know if I see him as it. And then I watched the show, and I'm like, oh dear God, this is
great.
So great. Yes, this is like better than the movie versions we got of Jack Ryan's character.
Yeah, I love that show. I didn't stop watching it at all. I binged it, the whole thing.
Oh wow, yeah, I've done that for some shows. I gotta say, actually, when I started it, yeah, I think I watched it straight through too. It was so compelling. I was just like,
I needed to know what happened next. I could not sleep without knowing.
And you know what? The show The Rain, I've watched bits and pieces of it, and actually PB, who's in the chat, he likes The Rain.
It's a great show. I like it. I can't watch it in the English dub though. I have to read subtitles. I have to watch it in the original language. Because if the mouth's off, it's weird. I don't like it.
Was
Oh no! I can't hear you anymore. Hold on. Oh no. Zod! Don't leave me alone. Okay. It'll happen. Oh no. Technical difficulties. We're waiting for Zod to come back. From what I can tell by the chat. I'm not the only one that can't hear him.
No.
Okay, cool. You left me alone, Zod.
Yeah. The people from Spectrum came and was messing with our internet. They said, don't worry, we fixed it. But yeah, here I am, still flipping in and out between the fandom zone.
Thank God. Okay.
So, The Rain, I heard, was a good show, so I've been meaning to actually binge that and go straight through and watch it. So,
yes, it is great, and you should watch it in the original language and read subtitles.
What is the language for that show?
I'm not gonna say it because I'll pronounce it wrong. It's like German. It's like the German language. It's the language that starts with D, but I don't want to butcher how to pronounce it because I can't pronounce it very well.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I can't read articles very well, so there we go.
PB answered. PB said it's Danish. There we go. Thank you, PB.
PB was probably watching it before this started.
Thank you so much for saving me.
So, yeah, I watched some reactions you did, and have you gotten a chance to watch the Dark Crystal? Because I hear it's good from the water cooler.
Yes, I have watched the first 2 episodes so far when I actually get a chance for everyone to leave me alone so I can just watch it. And I really like it. The first episode was great. I absolutely love it. Considering the Dark Crystal movie was one of my favorites growing up, my mom could never understand why I really liked the movie, but I absolutely love the movie.
I mean, it's Jim Henson. I mean,
right?
The Muppet work, and I respect the fact that they use the puppetry, and from what I saw from the behind the scenes and stuff, they were going that route. So I'm really tired of this CGI phase that we're going through. It's good to see them get back to the practical effects.
Yes. I'm really glad they kept the puppetry. Like, I would have been so upset if they used CGI. Oh, no.
And PB, no, I'm not talking Star Wars.
Oh, don't do that to me. I don't know anything about Star Wars.
You-
I watched the first 3 movies because one of my really good friends, he's like, you have to watch this. And I had a fractured ankle and I was off work and I was like, fine. So I watched the original 3, which are great. I didn't like the prequels.
Oh, okay. So
No.
there's always a divide in the community. Everyone who came from the original trilogy will say the prequels weren't that great. Some people will be like, oh, oh, you meant Stevie. Well, see, I'm catching up with the chat now because I just fandom zoned in. But while we're on the subject, everyone will say like the originals are better than the prequels. Some people like the prequels because that's what they started with. No one likes TLJ, so or
Oh,
at least
goodness.
most rational people don't like the Last Jedi. So that's the big contention and what's what. But it's kind of interesting for someone who's not big into that to like be like, yeah, the original trilogy was better than in the prequels.
I really like the originals. I didn't like the prequels. I didn't like how Anakin came off. Okay. I didn't like it. No.
I think that was a big source of contention for a lot of people. It's like you got this thing built up in your mind about Darth Vader, and then George's choice to go back and be like, oh yeah, he was this like whiny, snot-nosed kind of brat.
God.
Senate, I agree. Clone Wars is where it's at. Like Clone Wars, you get a better sense of his character, which is sad.
Fair
So,
enough.
but I mean, you know what's funny? Anyone who's watched the original trilogies and the prequels, and then you see the new sequel, you're like, well, at least they're not as bad as the sequel trilogy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because you go, they're still writing and they still pull it together. We're all waiting for Rise of Skywalker to see where that train wreck leads us to at the end of this whole thing. So,
yeah, I don't know. I probably won't watch it. I still haven't watched Solo. I still haven't watched Rogue One. Like, I'm just not a Star Wars fan. Nobody hate on me. I'm really sorry, but I'm not.
At this point, that's probably the safest place to land these days. Like, yeah, I watched them as a movie. I enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, but Dark Crystal, you seem pretty excited about that. So you got good memories of that movie. So the show stays pretty true to what the movie was.
Yes.
Now, is the show a prequel to the films?
It is. It is set 50 years prior to the film.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I'm really eager to see like what really happened, because you only get bits and pieces of it in the movie, and so you didn't get a lot of what happened. The Skeksis got rid of all the Gelflings, but yeah, I just like seeing there's so many Gelflings. Like you don't get a lot of Gelflings at all in the movie, and there's just so many of them in this show, and it's great. You get to know more of their culture and watch how everything just played out. I love it. It's great.
That and when I was watching it, I love that movie, and I love the weirdness behind it. It's such a weird movie, but
It's weird.
It is. It's so weird, but there's something about the design, the story, the set pieces that is very enthralling and entrancing. Especially, I was quite young when I watched it, and I'm like, it's like, it can be scary for a kid, but at the same time, it can be like, ooh, puppets.
Yes. It can be very scary for a child, actually. I remember like certain parts of the movie being that little, like the Skeksis freaked me out.
Yeah,
they were very they freaked me out, but I really liked the movie.
So without spoiling too much with the show, being that it's what from the gist I gather from it, it's going to be one of those things where you know where the story is heading, but they gave themselves a nice little 50-year buffer. So, you know, there's a lot of time period to play around in there. What is the overall gist of the show, and what is it about? Where is it leading? What are some things you like about it?
Well, I can't give too much of it away. Well, it explains a lot more how the Skeksis came into power over the crystal. Like, it just tells you exactly how that all happened, and that the Gelflings actually trusted the Skeksis starting out. They weren't they protected them. They actually have their own Gelfling soldiers that protect the Skeksis and the crystal, which is crazy to me, but yeah.
Oh, so yeah, like you got some political intrigue, and I like things with political intrigue. Fan of Game of Thrones was.
Yes,
So.
me too. Except for parts of season 8, like I was really sad.
Oh, see, that's interesting. I never knew you were a fan of Game of Thrones.
I've watched every episode.
So have you seen me and PB's Game of Thrones reviews on the downfall of Game of Thrones, where we break down every single episode?
No, but I'm definitely gonna go watch those.
Yes, you'll find it very interesting. You might go,
Yes, I always enjoy PB's dialogue.
Oh yeah. And seeing PB go off at certain points is hilarious.
It's great. I love it.
Actually, me and him doing Game of Thrones is what started our idea for late nights, because you're like, we both have some passionate feelings. They're passionate about things.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's Game of Thrones was like the biggest disappointment for me, just because like I was saying, I like stuff with political intrigue. I like how they mixed mysticism with politics, but they made the politics interesting. And now it's like, oh, like season 8 was just like, oh dear God, what happened to you? What happened to you guys?
Like, okay, we got to episode 3. I absolutely love the ending of episode 3. It's one of my favorites. And then I don't know what happened.
See, that's always been a contention for. I'd say PD was always, or he said 1 and 2, we were still in it. I called trash from number 1. I don't know why. I just had my spider senses tingling. I didn't like the fact that it was okay. We've been 8 years, and it was like, move it along. I already know the people. I know what's going on. We still don't need setup, but I could give it a pass. And then episode 2, it's like the episode where nothing happened. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Except for the very end. And then episode 3, the longest night you couldn't see.
And the darkest episode ever. I don't think I've turned the brightness on my TV up so high in my life. And it still didn't help. Oh no. Zod. Oh. Oh no. Not again. We're waiting. Okay. More technical difficulties. Come on, Zod. Oh. Oh, geez. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Are we back?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah. Thank goodness this wasn't as bad as Sunday, because Sunday I actually got like locked out where I couldn't like pop back in at all, or I'd pop in and it like kept on buffering me.
Oh, what a pain in the ass.
I hate technology.
You know.
And I'm a super villain. God.
Right? These things shouldn't happen.
No, they
Everything
shouldn't.
should work properly at all times.
So so that whole thing was a slippery slope with that show. That was a great example of writing just tanking everything.
Yeah.
Or at least you needed another season. I feel like you give that show another season and stretch out the storyline a little bit more. You can make certain things that don't make sense make at least somewhat sense, and then you turn the brightness up on episode 3.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that no. I was just really sad about how all that ended. It could have been way better. Waited 8 years for that.
So you didn't like Brand the Broken?
Oh my God. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. Like at the end of it, when all that happened, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What just happened? I was not expecting that. I didn't want it to happen, but
Phoebe in the chat says builder of ramps.
Right? God.
I guess it makes sense from a I guess a satirical thing. You can look at it that the throne was destroyed, so now he has a mobile throne, so that problem solved. They don't have to invest any money in new throne.
Yeah, what bothers me the most about all that is he knew that's how everything was going to play out. That is the most selfish thing I have ever seen happen on a show in my entire life.
Oh my goodness, that's great. I didn't even think about it from that angle. It's just like, and you know what was it goes against everything established, because it's just like, didn't he say he doesn't want to be king? He doesn't want anything.
Yeah.
And then he's yeah, I'll be the king. What are you guys waiting for? Throw that crown on me.
Right? Oh my God. Like, so I was really actually very upset. I'm just watching it and no, just no. Mm-mm. I'm going to get all mad all over again.
All right, let's keep ourselves in a happy place. You did a review on The Witcher, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited for this show. How do you feel about Netflix getting The Witcher, and how do you feel about Henry Cavill playing Garrett?
I really do not have a problem with Henry Cavill playing Geralt. I'm actually really excited to see what he can do with that character, because he's not a bad actor. Like he does a pretty damn decent job. And I just started reading the Witcher books and I'm in love. And I'm just really excited to see where the show. I'm pretty sure the show's going to start with the first part, like the introduction of Geralt, but I really don't know. And Netflix doing it, I just hope they do a damn fine job. I'd be a little bit happier if Prime did it, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with the way they adapted The Boys. I read the whole series, and they've modified a lot, and I can see the reasons of why, because The Boys is a very, like, if you think what they showed on the show was edgy, that comic book is like very dark. and it does not get better.
I heard. Oh God, I heard horrible things that happened in that comic book that I'm really glad didn't make it into the show. I probably wouldn't have been able to stomach it at all.
But it's intriguing when you're doing adaptations, and I don't mind. I'm sure PB will know my infamous saying about source material, but I do appreciate when they do modify some things that I think like there is. In an ideal world, you would like them to put everything in, but I think there is some things, whether it's the medium of books or comics, that just don't translate well on screen. They don't play out very well in that kind of format. So you naturally have to change it in order for your demographic. And I think people get upset, but they don't understand that you have a wider mass audience you're trying to reach who's never read any of the source material. So they're not going to know what's going on. And you've got to keep their interest. And some things will be a turnoff for that group, where as people who are coming from that base would be like, yeah, I understand what they're going for. But then you got the average viewer who'll be like, why is this in here? I don't know what's going on.
That's true. Very true, actually.
But yeah, you know, and it's funny, the game actually changes some things from the book as well. So
yeah, I've only played a little bit of the Witcher games, but I haven't read books yet, so I just started.
yeah, I've played all of the games, and I've read some of the books, and there's definitely some huge differences, and I'm intrigued to see. Okay, they've got two things to draw for them, and I want to see if they take some stuff from the books, if they take some stuff from the movies. From what I heard, they're gonna go closer to the book than the game. So
I hope so.
Yeah, we've all seen what happens when you try to adapt video games.
Don't do it.
It seems to be like a cautionary tale for anyone who wants to make films, you know, shows. Don't do it from video games.
No, like what they did, right. What they did with Assassin's Creed.
Oh God,
that was no, so many words that I can't say right now. They should have just never done it.
You have Michael Fassbender. You have Michael Fassbender. How do you mess up Assassin's Creed like so terribly?
Oh, so terribly. They could have just stuck with the original people. That would have been great. Like Desmond. He could have been Desmond. He would have made a great Desmond.
I don't even, oh my God, that was so painful for me to watch. I don't even remember most of it. It was just like a blur. Oh dear God!
I own it,
but and you know, with today's technology, with the CGI.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, kids.
Oh, I understand. with today's technology, with the way they could have done things, I find it interesting how poorly that movie went.
Horribly. Horribly.
But I will say my guilty pleasures are Resident Evil.
Oh, I can't do zombie games.
See, that's great then. You can do the movies because they have nothing anymore to do with the game.
Yeah, I can't do zombie games. They freak me out.
Oh man, I remember that game was the first game to terrify me. Resident Evil 2, when you're in the police station and that liquor comes, like that cutscene, that scarred me.
Yeah, no. No. I can't do zombie games. They freak me out. I've never been able to do it. Like I can't do any of the Silent Hill games. Can't do Resident Evil. I can barely do the Evil Within.
Oh my goodness, the Evil Within. Oh God, that game.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
game.
think there'd be another good game, survival horror game, until that game came out. What are your feelings of The Last of Us?
My husband's actually the one that played that game all the way through because I can't play it. Freaks me out. I really the beginning of it broke my heart, and I really probably wouldn't be able to play that game.
Oh, it's so sad. I don't want to give any spoilers away for anyone who's ever played it, but yeah, that
Yeah.
I heard people throwing in Sharknado. You know, it's funny. I feel like I've opened this can of worms because I talked about Sharknado here on the channel because the people who made Sharknado did Zombie Tidal Wave, and I'm happy to report I watched it, and it's every bit as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
It's a zombie tidal wave?
Zombie Tidal Wave. Oh
what?
My God. If you want to see something ridiculous on...
Oh, God. Oh, no. Zod! Oh, man. You know what this reminds me of, everybody? When I was trying to video call one of my friends on Snapchat and it kept breaking out last night. Like, it just kept going out. It was sad and frustrating. Oh, Zod. But I'm definitely going to see a zombie tidal wave now. Oh. Zod. Oh, man. Oh, my God. That internet is making Zod kneel right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's trying. Oh, my God. Oh, Senate. Hi, Gary. And everybody in the chat, you're all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. We're waiting. I feel very alone right now. Like, super alone. Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Once again. Thank you.
I got swept up by a zombie
tidal wave?
Yes, but I'm back. So yes.
I'm really glad you're back. Thank you.
So, you know, we were getting into the Sharknado, right? And the zombie tidal wave, that dude who was in Sharknado, who played the main character, and then did the zombie tidal wave, it was hilarious because he is the biggest over actor I've ever seen in my whole life.
Wait. He's in Zombie Tidal Wave?
Oh, yeah.
He's from 90210, like the original 90210.
Yes.
I watched every single one of those growing up because they were my mom's favorite show.
It is amazing. That guy has made a living off of being quite possibly one of the worst actors ever.
Yes, there were so many cameos in those Sharknado movies. So many cameos.
I mean, he used that cred he had to pull some pretty surprising people.
My mom's watched all the Sharknados. I haven't sat down and watched the last one that is some reminder of Star Wars. I don't know what it's called.
He has a lightsaber chainsaw.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, how does that even work?
Once I saw sharks that are living in tornadoes or I guess hurricanes, I just went with giving up on science and physics and just went with how they explained it. I'm like, okay,
fair enough.
Well, in the world it makes sense. So This world doesn't have any logical rules to it. So I'm just gonna dispel any and all belief in everything when I watch.
Yeah, like being swallowed whole by a shark and then cutting them open and they're still alive, stuff like that. And
Yeah, it's just like, oh Lord, like
yes,
this is terrible. But
ridiculous shows. And they made 4, right?
no, I think it was like 5 or 6 now. I don't know.
Ah,
The last one is just called the final one.
what?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you well, I guess they must have a budget somewhere. Somebody likes watching them.
Dude, it's sci-fi. Like literally, you could do $2 special effects. You're good. You'll run forever on that channel.
Truth.
Anything above $10, you might have to get views.
Yes. See, that makes sense. I wasn't thinking about it.
I mean, sci-fi. The best shows that came out of there was Stargate, any of the Stargates, and Battlestar Galactica. Were the best shows in years I'd seen. I like Happy and The Expanse as well. That's a good show. That show was unreasonable for sci-fi to even consider because it was so good, and I go, oh, this is way beyond their budget. I don't know how. And it happened. They went over to Prime because they couldn't afford them anymore.
You go where the money is.
Yeah, that's the great thing about streaming, I think, is that these streaming services seem to be throwing money around and they're not going based off of weekly viewership. They're going off of clicks and how much watches they're getting. So, I mean, you can have a small show run forever on like a Netflix or an Amazon because they're going based on subscribers and the buzz that's being generated about a show. Whereas if you have a cable networks or stuff like that, they actually have to go on daily viewership or weekly or whenever the show comes on.
Yeah.
And this is why TV is going to die because
I have cable. I don't watch it.
Yeah, I got like Cinemax, Showtime, and all that, and maybe I watch Stars for Power. And a few other shows here and there that I watch, but for the most part, I got a cable subscription that I don't even watch like 5. I got like 1,000 channels, and I watch maybe like 4.
Yeah, I actually have like Stars and HBO now on my Prime because you can get channels on there, so I just pay for that.
Yeah, see, that's what I do, and I'm thinking of like just getting rid of the cable because now streaming provides that, and really you only have to wait the day of the show, whatever show it is. Like if it's an HBO show and stuff, you just have to wait the day that it premieres. You get it like in the morning that it'll drop, and you can watch it. And
yeah, when I had HBO now, because I don't have HBO right now, because that's what I was watching Game of Thrones on, and so Game of Thrones would air, it'd go up when it was airing on the East Coast. So I got to watch it at 6.
oh, see, you're lucky. I actually had to wait. Not that I look forward to it anymore. After a while, I was just like, oh, I'll go on my beer run because I'm gonna need lots of alcohol to handle this. I tell you a story, and I was telling PV this when we were doing our reviews. I had to watch it twice because me and him both watched the episodes twice in a row so that we could do once as a fan and then yell at the TV and then do it as a reviewer and break down and stuff. So I watched it once, and we got towards the end and I switched from like beer to Jack Daniels because it was so painful.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, damn it, D&D, I can't do this anymore. I think it killed my liver this year.
Oh God, yeah. If I was a drinker, I would have switched to Hard A halfway through that season. So it makes sense.
But yeah. So I mean, those are terrible shows, and I wanted to I wanted to address that because said it, and then we're talking back and forth. And I found it funny. It was like, that's the one thing. It's one of those movies, and you have shows and movies like that are intriguing, where they become popular, but not because they're good.
Definitely not.
You just look at something like that and you go, this is so terrible that I want to see how worse this gets as I go along. Because you're like, there's no way this could get any better. This can't possibly. No, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, like zombie tidal wave. Okay, they had moss and the zombies were green. And they tried, like, I saw what they were going for. They just did it so bad. They like had zombies with like those like barnacles and things on their head. And yeah, and I'm like, oh God, no. And
so where can I watch this?
You can watch it on Sci-Fi. They had a recap, which I watched it on, but you can probably go on there like online and just like stream it because I know now it's like available to watch online.
Okay.
And if you want a good like hour and a half laugh, oh God, that's just like you're gonna be dying.
Okay.
The dude from 90210, he plays his normal like, I'm just an everyday towns guy who just happens to have all these weapons lying around when stuff goes down. No explanation how that happens.
A doomsday prepper,
No, I remember what it was. They said he says he's a naval commander or former naval commander guy or something like that. It was something ridiculous. And then there's this one part where they're driving and the zombies make land. And he hits the zombie and he looks at his friend who joined him because, they pick up people as they go. And he's like, roadkill. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He went for the simple pun. He was going for it. Jesus Christ. This is happening. Oh, God. And it didn't get any better.
Well, I'm going to watch that. I also need to watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes.
I'm eager to watch that.
Yes, Game of Thrones, you will laugh. There is a lot of good PB rants in there. I do a whole rant on Varys because he was my favorite character.
And the way he went out.
Yes, I was so angry, and I had to, totally not like his character. No one I think in the season died like their character should have.
No. They did not.
It was just like watching the death of characterization and anything to do with story or coherency. I don't know. Oh, D&D.
Yeah.
You wanted that Disney money.
It was so disappointing.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. Now, you're not a big Star Wars fan, but clearly you're as passionate as we were about Game of Thrones. Now, when you first heard before this terrible season dropped, you heard D&D were going over to the mouse and getting their own Star Wars movies. Would you, before the season aired, would you be like, oh, well, I know Game of Thrones. I most certainly want to see what they do in Star Wars.
Probably not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm being blunt and honest. You bring up Star Wars, I feel really bad.
No, that's actually great because it's good to see people from the other side. Like I watch it and we talk about and especially with movies in general and the way the culture has gone, right? And as a Marvel fan, I've had this happen. It's like a movie will do great, but it'll be because the normal moviegoer doesn't know any of the lore behind what they're watching. So it's interesting to get a person's perspective who's not deep into a particular franchise or something, just going, yay or nay, it interests me. That is great because it's good to see from the other side. Because as a hardcore fan, I think sometimes we lose perspective of the everyday person just watching something and being like, you know what, this intrigues me because of this reason, or this doesn't intrigue me whatsoever.
Yeah, my favorite franchise of all time is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yes.
I
love
know
Lord
a
of the
lot
Rings.
about that.
Okay, so favorite Lord of the Rings.
We're talking about movies, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And excluding the Hobbit, because not.
I really like the Hobbit movies. Everybody hates on those, but I really liked them, even though they used a lot of CGI. Anyway, Return of the King. The Return of the King was my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I loved it.
Interesting. I'd have to go Two Towers, Battles of Helm's Deep is
That was
by
a great
far.
movie.
Oh, the Battle of Helm's Deep. I remember watching it in the theater with my uncle, and the scale of that battle. People want to talk about the scale of doing stuff like, and that was practical in CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the scope of what they did with that, and when I watched the behind the scenes and like the camera work, and they pull back and you see all of the orgs and stuff, and how they're all lined up and they're on that bridge and they charge through the bridge and they're knocking them down as they're going up the ramp. I mean, when I saw the behind the scenes of how that was shot and they're using practical and CGI effects, that brought me back to, God, I can't believe I'm doing this again, to the Star Wars days, right? Because the originals used practical effects, right? They used like set pieces, and then they used some camera wizardry, where Lord of the Rings was in prime age because you had CGI and you had practical effects, and it was a beautiful blend of both of them.
Yes, they didn't ruin it. It was great. I really like the Lord of the Rings movies. And I got done reading the Silmarillion this summer. I love that book. I got an argument with one of my coworkers about that book, actually.
I love that. That's another series that has such deep and rich lore to it. You could do tons of stuff with that world. There's like so much that they can do. I'm actually surprised, being that the Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings grossed so much money, they haven't done anything else with them.
Yeah, I know. Prime's supposed to be making a series. I don't know why they call it The Lord of the Rings. I don't know if that's what they're going to stick with, but it's set in the Second Age, so we'll see the rise and fall of Numenor and stuff like that. But I'm really excited.
I thought it was an interesting choice going with the Second Age, because I heard about that and I was like, that's a good place to definitely start. And I would have loved actually to see something after Lord of the Rings, like, I know they did like an epilogue, but I would have liked to see like how that all shook out after the destruction, or they got rid of Sauron and all.
Yeah, because I hear so much. I haven't read the entire Lord of the Rings book because it's a long ass book. I haven't gotten there yet. But I want to see like how Saruman went to and took over the hobbits and stuff. Like I hear so much about it, but because that happened after like epilogue. We need an epilogue, but anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the show connects. And it'll be interesting to see if the show goes Second Age to Third Age.
Yeah. Well, the making of the rings and stuff. And oh man,
that would be, if they have like an end game to it, that would be interesting to see them like tie the show all the way into where the Fellowship begins, right? So you have the show run until they basically run parallel, and then with a show like that, you can even keep going, because then you can establish characters and explain what they were doing while the hobbits were doing their thing, because we've heard, and they've made games on it, where like there's other stuff and other people that are doing things as the battle's going on.
We're happening.
We're just seeing it from Frodo, but we're not. We don't see like what is like this group doing. How are the armies taking it? What's going on with the kingdoms and what's their reaction? They sent the Hobbit on his way, but there was a lot of battles and stuff that they're like, oh yeah, there's a battle here. Okay, let's go back to the journey now. So,
yeah, I I really want to see the first age. I want them to make something about the first age because I absolutely loved in the Silmarillion. I loved the first age. It made up 3/4 of the book, but I want to see the War of Wrath. I want to see like Morgoth and the creation of Sauron. And oh man,
yeah, like I love Sauron. I think like as far as villains go, for something that's a giant eye, like that was such a menacing villain. Like literally, he really doesn't do much except for make events move, but he's a giant freaking eye.
yeah, he's actually in that tower. You don't hear anything about it. You got to read the book, but he's actually in that tower. That's just how he sees everything. I'm not going to spoil the Silmarillion. I'm not going to talk anymore.
So yeah, I definitely, that was one I haven't read. Like I've read all of the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit books, but I never read the Silmarillion. I read a book.
Read.
I think I read the history of the Third Age or something. It was like a compendium that explained all of the things going on and things like that. But I always wanted to get a little bit deeper in the lore, and it's, you know, I watched a movie based on J.R.R. Tolkien and him creating Lord of the Rings, and it's so interesting to see because when he created it, I think like World War II or something was going on, and
oh no! Oh my goodness gracious! Okay. Zod. I'm patiently waiting. It'll work eventually. I know it will. We've been here before. Oh. Oh, there's not even... There's nothing. It's just silence. Oh no! Superman did get him. Oh no! He'll be back though. Wait. Almost. This always happens right before he comes back, so. Wait. Almost. Maybe. I don't know. Oh. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for being patient. Wait.
Yes,
Are we back?
thank you.
Yes, we're
back. No, Superman has not gotten to me yet.
Not yet.
Fandom zone technology.
God. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where that show goes, and who knows, we might get with shows like these, and depending on how successful they are, who knows where it'll go. That's the great thing about the streaming service picking up these things, you know.
Yeah, I read something about Peter Jackson this morning when I woke up, actually. Something about, I think it was Christopher Tolkien was stepping out or something like that, and Peter Jackson was going to come back and make some more movies, and he was thinking about the Silmarillion, and I was like, yes! I was so excited.
You want to talk about a man who I've never seen anyone adapt something so faithfully. Peter Jackson, man.
Yes.
He made epics and then made an extended cut to put in the stuff that he had to cut originally. And with this age we're in, where you can have 3 hour, you had a 3 hour Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
There is no way that now with the way that we are, we can't have
the whole thing.
The whole thing translated and done right, especially by Peter Jackson. Like if he says he's on board, I'm gonna be there. Opening.
Oh yeah, me too.
and review it, because that will be just fabulous.
It'd be such an epic movie if he came back and made a Silmarillion. Oh my god.
And I feel like he's one of those weird directors. Like you have the director who, when they do a project, they they go and that's their thing, and then they try to do something else, and you're like, well, no, you're an epics guy. You should just stick with doing this thing you did really well. I mean, I think he's just kind of got pigeonholed in a sense to the fact that he is that whole trilogy. That's like that's his legacy, and I think him returning to that would be great, especially considering the special effects have just gotten better. So
I'd really like them to have, if he's going to come back and make a movie though, they need to have a decent blend, like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh yeah,
not what they did with the Hobbit, just the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, the Hobbit was good, but my problem was you didn't need 3 movies. That was, I could have even taken 2, but 3 was kind of like, you're really stretching it.
Yeah, I agree. Like the middle movie was unnecessary.
No, and the sad part is I like Smaug. Like,
yeah, I really did. Just they could have put it together.
Yeah, you take that middle movie, you put it in with the first one, and you have the introduction of that, and then like you save like the final bit for that third movie, and you essentially do the whole book.
Yeah,
because I mean, in reference to Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit is actually not that long.
No,
I mean it's
such a small book.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller than the entirety of Lord of the Rings. That took me a minute to get through.
Yeah, I have that one book with all the books in one, and it's huge.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, I started reading it, and what I love about the books, the Lord of the Rings books, there's so much you don't know. If you've just watched the movie and then you start reading the books, you're like, what? He was how old? What? There was that big span of time between?
Yeah, like I felt like with the movies, they kind of like had to go, okay, we got to speed it along because there's a lot of in between stuff where you're like, oh, there was a time gap here, because essentially as a moviegoer, when you get done with one and you go into number 2, it's just like, oh, okay, we're picking up right where we left off. But if you're reading it in the context of the book, there's time that passed because they're walking. So
yes, they're walking, and he didn't leave abruptly. Like he didn't leave the Shire abruptly. Like there was an adventure, and there was more people that we never saw in the movie that he met, and he was way older than, because he was the same age as Bilbo when Bilbo went on his adventure, when he actually left the Shire.
Yeah, and Bilbo was old, but I think they explained.
No! Side! I'm so enjoying these talks. Oh, man. You all in the chat are just so super duper patient. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, we got PB back. Mads Mama Bear. Mr. Rand distracted. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It happens. We all have technical difficulties, especially live streaming. Like that's probably why I don't live stream. I'm afraid of technical difficulties. Oh man, you all are awesome though. Thanks so much. I'm waiting for him to come back because he'll come back in StreamYard first, and because there's a lag. Yeah, not much. There he is.
Yeah, yes, I know, PB. I'm the worst villain. I'm a grade B villain. Myself from C. Senate, Fatal Dre, and Drunk 3PO are not taking over. Oh my goodness, the takeover.
It's so good to have you back, Sod.
But yeah, that grades D. I upgraded to B, and when I get my tech going, I'll be A. So
yeah.
So yeah, we've been going for an hour and 20. So
I know. Yes.
Well, I go where the conversation takes me. But I'm going to kind of start winding it down before my crystals die.
Okay.
And before you have a spider person invade your background again.
Okay. Sounds good. I should probably go see what they're doing.
oh Lord, you get like there's the battle for Middle Earth.
Yes, I get to go see what the orcs did to my house. So.
Oh, that is such a great explanation. My little dictator will just run around and she'll be like, "Dad, look, I painted my nails in the table."
Yes,
great.
all over the table.
It's beautiful. I'm like, I said the canvas, don't paint the table. But anyways, this has been a really great conversation, and I really appreciate having you on the channel. And let me check something because I don't know if you have a wrench, and I'm not really good at the whole dropping wrench things. So say something in the chat, and I'll add you as a mod, and you can drop a link to your channel.
Wait, what?
Okay, so
never done any of this before.
Okay. Oh, just put something clever in the chat. I'll mod you, and then you can drop your link for all the people in the chat to go check out your channel.
Oh, I don't know how to do clever. Okay. Thanks so much for having me, by the way.
Oh no, not a problem. This has been a great conversation. So I appreciate having you on, and I like doing these talks because you never know, where the conversation is going to go, and it's just great to get different takes and perspectives and stuff.
Yeah, oh my goodness gracious. Okay. It's not happening.
Oh, there is PB. Thank you, PB. But you suck, Zod.
Oh my god.
The love is real. That's my commander for you. Even in the chat, he keeps me in line.
Yeah, PB's awesome.
He is. So, anyways, before we go, let the fine folks know, if you've got anything awesome and new coming out, and B, anything else we can expect coming from your channel.
Well, I have to downgrade some of my tech because I can't, because I rent my PC and stuff, so I gotta downgrade. So I need a Chromebook for school because I'm starting college in a week and a half, and so I gotta give my computer back to where I rent it. So I'll be doing all my gaming on my PlayStation 4, and I'm gonna try and figure out how to do reviews, but all I'm gonna have is a Chromebook.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Tech.
But when I can afford it, I'll be back.
So, and the Senate being awesome, he dropped
Thank
your
you.
Twitter.
Appreciate
So
that.
anyone who is not following or who's not checking out the channel, go over, check out the channel. The links are down there in the chat from my wonderful moderators. And oh my goodness, Moira, welcome.
Hi,
Jumping
Moira.
in later as we're wrapping it up. Everyone's used to me going like 3 hours.
Late.
I know, they're like, when I do a day show, they're like, what's this? What, he's stopping in an hour? I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
The funny part is I used to do my shows all through the week, and what happened was I started getting tired, and with my schedule for work in the theater, they were colliding and I wasn't sleeping. So I decided to do these short daytime things so I can provide content every day, but I can also sleep and have a life and watch
priorities.
Yeah, and my kid, that's an important big deal.
Yeah.
So folks, kids monopolize a lot of time. FYI.
Yes.
But it's been great having you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Like, honestly, thank you so much.
Oh no, not a problem. And we definitely have to do another chat and talk about some random things. This was fun. It's good to know that you're a Lord of the Rings fan. I hear a lot of different fandoms, but the Lord of the Rings side, I never have good conversations about that. So
I have so much information about the Lord of the Rings.
One time we should just do like a stream about the first movies. And
yes, I really like going on Josiah Rise's channel because he talks a lot about the Lord of the Rings.
I know he was the one who found out about the Tolkien movie.
Yes, and it could have been better, but I haven't watched it. But I've heard a lot about it.
It was amazing, and I was glad that I watched it. So he's got some good stuff, and I love going over for his takes on different things too. So I watch some of his stuff. But anyways, thank you everybody. This has been a Fandom Zone Talks, the lighter side of Zod with the interviews.
Say bye.
Oh, and as always, thank you for coming to the channel. Just to let everyone know, tomorrow night, check us out. We're going to be streaming a watch anime stream. It'll be me, Herb, Fatal J, and we're going to have Stevie J on for a little bit. We're gonna talk about Death Note. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, and hopefully my internet will not be crappy.
We hope.
And oh yeah, God. And we've got 2 reviews coming here. I'm gonna drop a review on the first season of American Gods. I'll probably do that tomorrow or tonight because I'm finishing up season 2, and then I'm gonna do a review on American Gods season 1 and season 2, and I'll also be dropping a review on Hustlers. So everybody definitely. Oh yeah, that was a surprisingly good movie, and not because it's based on strippers. It was actually a true story, and I learned a lot, and I actually felt sympathy for that world, which is yeah. So if you guys want to check out, see what it's about, definitely check it out. And as always, remember the rule here on the channel: kneel. Zah.
Oh God. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.